Okay, so you can have women that say, oh, I want a man that makes this amount of, X amount of dollars, or I want a man that has this type of job, or I want a man that drives this kind of car, whatever it is. And then if a man says, okay, well, I want a woman that works out or exercises.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong.
No, we say that, and then we're like objectifying or being shallow. For me, it's a must. Like, my life, I'm a professional athlete first and foremost, so that's like a huge part of my life. But as far as like having that in a partner, I require it for maybe a different reason. When I see a woman that puts forth the effort to like work out consistently and take care of her body, much like women when they say, hey, I want a guy that makes 6 figures, I want a guy that has a stable job. It's all centered around stability and having that foundation of stability to like build a relationship. So for me as a guy, when I see a woman that's putting forth that effort, that just shows me that she has a level of stability. She cares about her health and wellness. She's dedicated to a routine, which then shows me that, hey, like if she's dedicated to herself like this, maybe she can be dedicated to a relationship like that. So It's all relative at the end of the day.
Okay. Now, do you think it's fair though? Do you think it's okay for men to say that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
For sure.
So all right,
sure.
I do too, because one thing is, so, women do it all the time. They're like, they have these lists, women will have a list a mile long for a guy. I'm like, girl, you want Jesus. I don't know.
Maybe.
You don't want a man. You want
one I can't, one that bothers me, and I don't think I'm a short guy, right? But like the women that be like, my man has to be over 6 feet tall. And it's
so
like,
that's a main one, yeah.
Like, then it's like, okay, what are you bringing to the table? Like, I'm 5'8". I ain't the shortest. I ain't the tallest. Like, I've dated women 6 feet tall, 5'11". I generally date women that are taller than me. It's not anything that ever bothered me. But whenever I hear that one from a woman, it just triggers something in me that like I'm immediately turned off. I think it shows like a level of like maybe shallowness or something like
so
that.
That's what it is. So that is a big one for a lot of women. They always say, well, I need somebody at least 6 feet. He has to be at least 6 feet.
Mm-hmm. But then you can't go to the gym and you ain't, your waistline ain't this, you ain't got healthy habits. It's like, what are you bringing to the table?
Right. And so when I said that, I never said people need to pay attention. I never said that a woman needs to be a size 2. Because some men don't like, that's not what it's about, but it's the act of working out and exercise. Like you said, it shows that that they're committed to themselves, that they can care for themselves, that they love on themselves, and that's stuff that you need for the relationship, and then for yourself. Like I know a lot of men, they're like, no, I don't care if she's a size 12 or a size 10, but I like a woman who works out because it shows me X, Y, and Z. If she cares for her body, then she'll care for me. It shows me like, okay, if she's asking me to love on her and to care for her, but she doesn't care for herself, how does that turn out, And then working out does take some, it definitely takes some dedication, and everything. Because like when I get up, like I threw myself out the bed Friday. Well, not just Friday, but Friday was my last like workout class. I try to work out 3 to 4 times a week, and it was 5:30 in the morning. I was just like, ugh. But the reason I did it, one, I needed to do it, but also it helps me set the tone for the rest of my day. So I feel like if a woman can say, oh, I want a man that's 6 feet or that makes X amount of dollars, men, go ahead and tell women, if you want a woman that works out, you're not telling her that she has to be this big. Works out just means works out, baby. If you are plus size and voluptuous and curves and you're working out and exercising, work out and exercise size. Women.
What I will say, oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, go ahead.
What I will say as a man, one thing that I kind of do is like, when you see, like, you really find out who people are when they're dealing with like stressful situations, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're in a relationship, and you're working out with a partner, and you see them push themselves, and you see how their mind calculates and deal with that stress, like that's going to be a good implication on how they deal with stress within a relationship. So
Yes.
it's always kind of been like a little tool for me to kind of gauge, like, hey, like how stable is this person under duress? Like, hey,
Yeah.
is this something? Is this someone I can kind of?
Let me see you let me see you work out and see how you handle the pressure under duress.
It's a bit of a litmus test, a little bit, and like I will say it's never been off. Like most people that I've been in relationships with, that I've worked out with, and I've seen them complain a lot, or the I can't, or get emotional. When it gets hard and the duress comes in the relationship, it's the I can't, and they complain and they get emotional. But I've also seen some women be able to like buck up, even if they fail at something.
Right.
Their mindset, their attitude. That's what I'm generally gauging in like those situations, and I think they definitely correlate.
Yes. Okay, let's get on this weight thing real quick. Michael, I'm loving it. The love weight, and then Scott said something about his wife after 2 sons. Yes. And see, that's the thing, guys. When I made this comment, some women were like, men shouldn't choose our size. I said nothing. It had nothing to do with weight or nothing to do with size. Working out, I know plenty. I was a trainer for years. I had plenty of women who worked out and exercised because it just made them feel, it was a stress reliever. It's like the heart health. It's not just like the physical, like, oh, let me get my waist snatched. We live in that whole world where everybody wants to go get their waist snatched and get these hips and these big butts and everything. That doesn't mean
work for it.
You're investing with some money, but that's different than somebody who actually gets up and goes to work out and exercise and actually puts their body and their mind and their spirit through the motions, because it's like therapy a lot. And also a lot comes out when people are working out. And yeah, when people give up, because there are times like when I used to train women, we would be in there, like I would have women who would start crying in the middle of their workouts, not necessarily because it was physically hard, but they had other stuff going on. They may have been stressed at work. Their kids were acting up, their marriages or their relationships. And so when they're working out, all that started to come out. And that's why used to be in there sometimes, like the emotions come out. It comes into a therapy session. So I think it's something really good. If I'm with a guy and he's like, hey, well, I know you work out, but I would like for you to keep working or whatever, because I do work out now. But if somebody was like, hey, I like a woman that works out. That's one of the things that I want a woman to do is work out. Why am I going to get butthurt and be like, oh, I can't believe you want me to work out and make myself better? Okay, sign me up. Now you can help pay for one of those memberships or for some personal training classes, if you want to. But it's like, okay, fine. Like I don't really see what the big deal is, and we have to stop doing allowing women to say certain things, but we don't hold men to the same accountability. So we're letting women say, oh, somebody has to be 6 feet, they have to make this much, they have to do this. But when a man says, okay, cool, bet, but I want a woman that does this and this, it's like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's attacking me. Oh, he wants me to look like this. We got to stop that. People get so offended about like every single thing. Okay, let's see some of these. Oh yes, like they don't cook, but they want him to have long money. Yes, all of these. But that's the thing. Like you have to be able, whatever it is, it has to go both ways. We cannot demand something of somebody, or even say like, hey, I want you to have this, and this. But when they turn it on us and say, oh, okay, cool. Well, I want you to be able to do this, and this, or yeah, I don't mind providing, but I would like to have, 4 cooked meals a week. That's not a lot. It's like, oh, he wants me to be a slave. Now I have to be in the kitchen. Like, no.